The honourable member for Calgary-Glenmore is prepared to provide a maiden speech or reply to the throne speech.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am deeply honored to stand here today as the elected member from the beautiful riding of Calgary-Glenmore. I'm grateful to the constituents who entrusted me with this responsibility. Thank you to the members who served and represented Calgary-Glenmore before me. Each one of us decided to serve for different reasons, bringing different perspectives and different lived experiences to Alberta's Legislative Assembly. I stand in this chamber today because of my deep belief that Alberta's best days are still ahead. I believe in the can-do spirit of Albertans. There is no challenge we have not flipped into an opportunity for the better. In the face of a changing world, we have a choice. We can choose to believe that we must cling to the past, or we can embrace the future with the same enterprising attitude we always have had and seize the opportunity for a better Alberta for all of us. Over 1.7 million Albertans voted in the last election. Each person marked off their ballot with hope in their heart, hope for a better future for themselves, for their kids and their grandkids. It is on each and every member of this chamber to remember this always. Albertans have trusted us to represent them. We need to work together across party lines, across communities, across backgrounds to create a more inclusive and prosperous province for all. I learned after being elected that I am the first Arab woman to be elected to Alberta's Assembly. This historic moment is not only a milestone in my life, but a testament to the progress of our democratic system. I'm proud to serve with a number of other elected MLAs who have also made history. This is progress and a reminder that we are a province that makes the possible a reality. But it's also a reminder of the work that lies ahead. We should ask ourselves, why has it taken 117 years for this to happen in our democracy? What have been the barriers to entry? And what are the opportunities to bring more representations to Alberta's Assembly? As members, we need to work together to make this workplace not only more inclusive and representative of our society, but more accessible to mothers and parents with young children, like me and many of us here. Our assembly must be as diverse as our province, weaving the expectations and the experiences and the insights of the people we represent. Each one of us here has a duty to make this happen so that we can legislate effective and impactful policy for all Albertans. Our democracy thrives when we embrace diversity. However, as we make strides toward a more inclusive government, we must also recognize that democracy is a fragile entity that requires our protection. I grew up in a country where, when the ballots were counted, a dictator had won with 99% of the vote. Despite the dictatorship in Yemen, election after election, my wonderful parents showed up at the polls and voted because the process mattered to them. While they knew deep inside that their vote wouldn't change the final outcome, they believed they had a responsibility to vote and hoped that one day their children, including me, would see a world where our vote mattered. Where I grew up, Mr. Speaker, freedom was an elusive concept. And the freedom to speak against the establishment or hold the government to account was out of the question. I learned this lesson in the harshest way possible when my father, who is a physician by training, became a political prisoner for 300 days because of his political views. My experience, you see, is not unique. In too many countries around the world, the consequences of speaking your mind, holding the government to account, or even having a political opinion can be grounds for imprisonment. That's why our democracy in Alberta and in Canada matters. We are privileged to live in a democracy. It safeguards our freedoms and allows us to be open and an innovative society where we strive for better. But democracy is fragile, Mr. Speaker and fellow members. As an elected official, I strongly feel the responsibility of this institution and the privileges and the responsibilities that come with it. We must never put politics over our democratic institutions. And we must be vigilant of external influences and extreme groups in Alberta that could impact our democracy, rights, and privileges. We also must be careful with heated rhetoric, misinformation, and extreme polarization in our debates that could alienate constituents and fellow Albertans. I have heard a lot from my constituents in Calgary-Glenmore. Many feel disillusioned with governments, politics, and our democratic processes and institutions. We owe it to them. We owe it to them to make them feel that their voices matter here in this chamber by elevating the discourse and speaking to what matters to them. We, elected officials and Canadians, must protect the process with all our might and encourage Albertans to show up, vote, run, and be part of our democracy. The process matters. The people I serve come from diverse backgrounds, but they also share a concern for the planet. Our democratic system allows them to elect leaders who recognize the urgency of addressing climate change. I want my children, your children, and your grandchildren to enjoy long summer days outside. I want us to protect Glenmore Park and all the green spaces that Albertans enjoy every day in our urban and rural areas. I want more hiking, camping, and biking days outside, and less smoky days spent inside. I want our children to see our majestic glaciers and fresh snowfalls in the mountains. I want less dry land and more farmland for wheat, barley, and canola. I want our children to experience the full splendor of the Rocky Mountains, from our turquoise lakes to the larches that turn gold in the fall. We cannot let them inherit burnt down forests or coal-mined mountains. Mr. Speaker, I spent 15 years in the energy sector, in renewables, oil and gas, and the oil sands, in Canada and abroad. I have worked for global energy companies and environmental non-for-profits. And I know that Alberta can develop stronger and credible climate policies to propel us towards a future economy and allow us to continue to be leaders on the global stage. We are not on the cusp of an energy transition. We are already living it. The jobs, the industries, and the livelihoods of our constituents are directly tied to this transformation. Calgary-Glenmore is home to many professionals, tradespeople, and skilled workers in Alberta's energy sector, specifically in oil and gas, oil sands, and renewables, as well as related engineering know-how and supply chain businesses. They have shared with me their hopes, aspirations, and worries for the energy economy. Many including myself and my family, have benefited from the prosperity and the career rewards that the energy sector brings. Albertans expect us to have a plan. Albertans expect us to better manage our energy resources. Albertans expect us to prepare for the changing energy and climate landscape and lead Alberta into the future. We must ensure that Alberta remains prosperous. I want to end by saying it is people who are leading the work and innovation in Alberta. It is people who will be impacted by the decisions in this chamber. It is people who are at the heart of this energy transformation. It is people who hope for us to build a future where they can thrive and prosper. We have been elected to represent and to listen to our constituents, to care, to ask questions, and to plan for the future of this province to the best of our ability. We cannot take this lightly. I'm truly grateful and humbled to have the opportunity to represent the people of Calgary-Glenmore. I thank them for the trust that they have placed in me, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Yes.